Hi, welcome into my channel. This channel is against the Big Bang, but I sick and tired to tell you that the Big Bang is false. And being a philosophy, I study philosophy, so I said let's say maybe I bring some people into my channel through this method. But I'm interested in the Big Bang because the Big Bang is false. So, but I take fun on a guy like this.
Could you please discuss free will and Sam Harris's and others' ideas of its non-existence? Well, that's a good complicated question to kick things off. So I want to tell you a little bit about how to conceptualize free will, I think, first, because it's obvious that we don't have infinite free will. Our choices are constrained in all sorts of ways. And I think part of the reason that there's a continual discussion about free will in the philosophical in the philosophical literature is because just conceptualizing the issue properly is extraordinarily difficult. So
You see, I take on a guy and I cut some videos and I comment them. This is the way I did it at a non-philosophical. So I study philosophy, but I discovered that the Big Bang and the science is wrong, 99%. But being sick and tired by this, I said let me do something in my field. Maybe some people will come into my channel and we see the other stuff with the Big Bang. So if you heard this, I instruct you to hear very close because I will talk about this infinity and choice. He says that about the infinite free will. You can stop here. This is the idea to read it if you want. Okay, from this video. Hope you see it. Let's bring it close, bring it close. Okay, so here this infinity and choice. I put again, maybe you did not catch it the first time. Listen.
how to conceptualize free will, I think, first, because it's obvious that we don't have infinite free will. Our choices are constrained in all sorts of ways. And
So you see, I'm saying like the choice is a poor fellow from free will. So but because you do not have free will, so that's why I'm talking about types of infinity. You see, he is saying in this video, you'll see a little bit further rules of a game, like in a chess game, makes possible some kind of possibilities to live a possibility of the phenomenon like in infinite manner. So the rules are static of the game of the chess or something, but you live the game. So you live the rules of a game. You are with friends, you are enjoying a diverse form of joy and things like this. So so this is what he is saying. Listen.
I like to think about it, at least in part, the way that you think about a game. You know, if you're playing a game, obviously the game has rules. So if it's a chess game or a basketball game, then there are things that you can do and things that you can't do. And so it's a closed world in some sense. But the fact that there are things you can't do when you play a game also seem to open up a universe of possibilities for things that you can do. So chess obviously constrains you to a board and to a certain number of men and to a certain pattern of rules. But the strange thing is that when you put in those rules, because rules sound like limits, they sound always like things you can't do. But when you set up a constrained world like that and you lay out a system of rules, what you do is open up an infinity of a near infinity of possibilities.
You heard that, okay? So, but let go back at the first. I put the twice. So let me tell you now the choice. I'm saying that the choice is not free will. The free will is transcendental. The choice is apart from free will. Everybody confuse this because they are looking only in a material manner. You see this exactly like in this chess game. The rules are, you are concentrating yourself like in the physical manner to resolve how many possibilities of movement. So because there if 10 or minus 30 for power of 54, so it is big but it is limited somehow. But you are looking in the wrong part. You are living when you play. So you all the games with cards or games in general. He's saying this, okay, but I comment if you understand, okay. So but you are living, you play one chess play, and you see on the internet, I am subscribed to one guy, a gamator, so a million some subscribers. He puts a piece of the chess all day. You see, it brought a big phenomenon. You live, you go with some friends, so you joke, you did the, so the rules you are living it. So the rules make possibility of the free will to be maybe like infinite. But to let me put a third time what he's saying in a little passage: infinity and choice, like this.
How to conceptualize free will, I think, first, because it's obvious that we don't have infinite free will. Our choices are constrained in all sorts of ways, and
Okay, after watch that, this is the way I make my videos. If you know, I'm saying like a tea science, coffee science, because I'm speaking about the Big Bang, but I took this opportunity, and I have always a tea or a coffee. This is a coffee with milk. So, types of infinity. I brought two apples, and to explain to you, this is the choice for my garden, okay? Grapes, red ones and white ones. It was I took them like now is night. I took these poor ones, okay. But you see, this is the choice, and you must understand a few types of infinity. So how we know this, you can plant apples in an infinite type. So if you are concentrating like in a biological manner, they will break down the code of genetics. But as far as we know, if you have a tree, you can plant it all over the place at infinity. Thousands of planets. If you put the condition necessary, you could have an apple infinite. But this is a kind of limited infinite. There are many types of infinity. So even the choice is somehow infinite. You see, if you understood that you live the rules of the game, you eat this apple, and it seems to you like it's determined. You are the taste and something like this, okay. So that's why you're looking in the wrong place again, like a game, like in a rule, like in a physical manner, but you live the phenomenon. The phenomenon is limited. You made a choice. You took an apple instead of a grape, okay, and you are eating it. You see the manifestation of this kind of infinite, limited infinite. It is like a numberable infinity. One, two, three. You can number infinite apples of trees, infinite on infinite planets. Okay, and you go and you eat. This is, you are believing now that the phenomenon is closed, like in this loop, like this repetition, like in a matrix. You saw that cat, you see, but the phenomenon is, you are looking around, you are living it. But even in this manner, it is limited, like you're not going break down in tears. I saw some people, if you eat an apple, so you, when you feel the phenomenon is infinite, is like a choice. It is a phenomenon of living, but it is limited. But now if you combine, you see, if you combine this, you with a game, it is limited. It is limited somehow, even in a game. You live infinite, but you combine with this infinite of this type of repetition of infinity. So now it escapes you. It is not like a mathematical combination, but even in this manner, there is a bigger infinite than in this, and this infinity is transcendental. So that's why. So, but first you must understand. So this type of limited infinite.
how to conceptualize free will, I think, first, because it's obvious that we don't have infinite free will. Our choices are constrained in all sorts of ways, and
Okay, you turn up. Now you see these guys. What nice, good. 50,000 of food channels on the internet. You see, you have choice, poor choices, limited life in these poor choices of cuisine. Okay, So the phenomenon is somehow limited, an infinite, limited infinite. But there's another kind, like open infinite. In this manner, you must look in when you live the phenomenon. So, so if you are like a determinist, you say, I believe the determinism is even part of free will. You will say somehow that, like this physics guys see, this implication between a reality of this and, okay, this is what I wanted to tell you. Types of infinity, you do not believe, but they exist. You can play infinite games of chess. You can live infinite, in the infinite ways. Are you sure that at the basic level, all the people live the same game of chess? Even though they play the same moves, let's say e4, e5, you know, are you sure that they are living the same stuff? So another level, transcendental level, and that brings up many infinities. So, but this infinity is limited, and I seem like it is a part of free choice. Now I choose to hit this. Okay, so it is limited. How do you understand? So, but the second part he speaks about God, and this is more interesting for me. So listen.
Same with music. Music has rules, obviously, and if you follow the rules, then you can make an infinite variety of music. And so there's a very interesting dynamic that's hard to understand between constraint and possibility. And there's a deep idea that's associated with that I read in some Jewish commentary on the biblical stories that I read a long time ago, talking about the relationship between God and man. And the idea was that God, imagine a being with the classical attributes of God, omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, all seeing, all knowing, and all powerful. What does a being like that lack? And obviously the answer is nothing, right? Because by definition, those three traits provide for absence of limitation. But then that's exactly what's lacking, is limitation. And there's some strange connection between limitation and I was saying, say, limitation that's rule governed, as I mentioned before, and the opening up of possibility. So it isn't necessarily the case that now determinism and limitation aren't exactly the same thing, but they're analogous and they need to be discussed together.
So now this subject seems to you like is more, but if you come with me in a second video, I will expand on this more. So, but let me say like this. You must understand the same in the free will of creation, like he had a free will, absolute power and free will of creation. Even though if you apply the will in the power of creation in universe, you can say that his wisdom is limited at one universe. He could make infinite universes, I feel like this. And you can apply the rules of types of choice and on God is himself. You see, you can exaggerate liberty. I'm telling you that the will, this is the will, you live this phenomenon, but you can exaggerate it. Some guys you see, exaggerate the phenomenon. Okay, it's limited, it's pleasurable, but it's limited somehow, but you can exaggerate. So it is how I invented this question: how will be to be drunken robot, to make a robot to be drunk. You see, if you treat this in a physical manner, you say that you put like this milliliters and you put this mental state, you walks like like this robot. You see this determinist manner, but you do not understand that it could be that it could be a living, limited, infinite phenomenon. Like even this, it's a fractal, infinite geometric, but a fractal. Okay, so in this manner, it is a fractal, physical fractal of how to drunk a robot. But you forget that we have this transcendental part. So that's why he said about God, a relation with God and man, and even inside of the mind of God. What is the liberty? It is you understand? So Now you must disconnect this. Augustine said he did not want it, because when you want something you must make it, so you have an object. So but he do not understood by like it being like a trinity, like in a Christian matter he says about the Bible. So I comment the videos, okay, but I'm not apologizing because I believe in God, okay. But if you think still like this, so the Augustine said like you have a will and you put in an object, you create a world. But you do not understood that be exactly like in our case, the will manifestates in life. So it could be an entire year got to be prior of beyond any will of creation of material to have a will of living. So he lives in inside his infinity, and he's a person, and it is has a contact, like a trinitary contact between persons. So the will is not manifestating in an object by making, constructing an object, like even it will be a universe, and see in this manner you'll see that it is conditioned to make the universe and all kind of games. But if you understand this transcendental part, that is a kind of manifestation beyond this physical infinite numerable type of infinite, there's another open infinite of and it says it is true that I'm alive. So God is alive before us, okay. So that's why he has a will. This is what is meant to have a will, to have a person, to have a will, have a power, and to have rational mind. So, but this rationality is not manifested in an object, like somebody makes an object, or God made a universe, or even angels. Nonetheless, how beautiful out there, or where there's their sky, where they live. But he lived inside his beyond time, and that's why where he had a will, and the will is manifested like in an interaction, okay. So a living interaction, it could be how can you fail in this manner, in a transcendental manner, okay. So this is the video. I study philosophy. I'm from European Union. I study philosophy in Bucharest. I'm saying teach science, coffee science. But I didn't want to make this, okay? Even though I know the subjects, and I even wrote about this stuff. Nobody takes me serious. But I wanted to tell you that our galaxy is a sphere. And we cannot see the universe. We cannot see the universe. Where the angels are, or our other rational minds. And our galaxy is a sphere, is surrounded by clouds, and the stars are small. And we can go to the stars and colonize planet. We may put their apples and ride a horse or something on Mars planet. There will be life, okay. There will be. Elon Musk said that he wants to put like a plant on Mars. He said to the NASA it was his dream to see a plant like floating and then to put it on Mars. But real stuff is to not to make a Elon Musk car to ride a horse on a planet, on Mars planet, like Picard, if you know the Star Trek movie. So this is about free will. The free will is transcendental, and it's more fun for me, this part, and to see it in a transcendental manner. So it is an open infinite. So, but I will start a list, entire list. I have many things to say. I could write a book of 1,000 pages, maybe A4 pages. This is what we discussed. If you put pause here, you can read, okay? So goodbye, God bless. This video might become, if you see this coming to my channel, see that I'm telling you that entire science is wrong, okay. But I'm interested about that Big Bang, but not like I'm not interested about God, or this are beautiful stuff. But this is why I open the channel, okay. If you understand, goodbye, God bless. Please subscribe if you like this stuff. I will make more about consciousness, about liberty, about power, and how is the combination between power and liberty, like Nietzsche, the will of power, and something like this. It's a rich subject. Everybody says that you cannot say many things, but you can.
Okay, so that's the first thing, is that whatever our free choice is, it isn't limited. It's limited. It's deeply limited. Now,
okay. So goodbye. How do you live this phenomenon? But what if you watch it another time? But when it will go to the bottom of the living of the phenomenon. But if you interrupt and see you after a year, maybe how it is this infinite video, it is like a night, how it is. You think about this. Okay, goodbye, God bless. Only good.